Okay, so you're probably going to get a thing that asks you if you're consenting to being recorded. So go ahead and if you're willing to be on the
Okay.
video, then just go ahead and
Otherwise, you get
keep
kicked off.
going or continue or something like that. Did anybody get it? Or are you good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I hit
Okay,
continue.
so yeah, so anyway, I was saying, I think we'll change the subject for tonight. Originally, I talking about expectations and how to get those things going, right? And focusing on one thing. So we'll save that for next week. And so this week, let's talk about how we handle holidays and, weekends like this where things are a little more loose and you want to, you have different events happening generally or things going on, and maybe you're tracking your workouts, your nutrition is not quite the same as a normal week. So we can start by, I think, just throwing out some things that maybe, there's a lot of coaches here, so maybe, things that have helped you in the past. I know one thing that I just go by is no matter what one meal looks like, the rest of them don't have to look that way, right? So if one meal is with, you're doing a potluck or you're getting together with people or there's some kind of event and maybe it's food you're not normally having, enjoy it, have it, do it. But then the next meal is part of your plan or is at least a lot better for your plan than maybe the previous meal. And to not let that indulgent meal feel like, you've blown the whole time. So I think that's probably my big one that I try to go by. How do you guys handle things?
My father's 70th birthday party was on Sunday. By Monday morning, I think I gained 4 pounds back and it felt like crap all week.
Well, and it's not a true weight gain, which is nice.
Right, I know.
Alana says you can put it or you can take it off as fast as you put it on. So on those weekends where you are definitely going to fluff up, right? You're going to retain water. But you can get rid of it just as fast, which is nice.
Monday, I wanted to sleep all day. I was not motivated, and I'm slowly like, yes, I feel so much better. But I never realized that, like before I started doing all this, when I got home from work and wanted to take a nap, I thought it was because I worked hard all day. Now it's just because, there's that 4 cream horns I ate on the way home.
Right. And it's true. And so now you have that feeling too of like, okay, this is how I feel kind of crappy after eating crappy, right?
Yep.
And then you can associate that. And it's not meant to be guilt, right? It's just my body physically reacts to food that doesn't have great nutrition, right? Or has a lot of sugar. And so those are really sometimes things. I find I get a headache if I have too much sugar now.
I tell you,
don't like
quitting
that.
sugar is so much harder than quitting smoking.
Really?
I did that in January. No problem. I can't get rid of the sugar.
They say it's more addictive than morphine.
Oh,
yeah. The chemical reactions your brain goes through when you eat sugar are pretty impressive.
I'll do great all day long. Soon as I get home and like I start cooking supper or I have that little bit of time where I can like sit and relax. Like it's awful.
Well, Joy, I had a weekend like that too, because we went up to my daughter and we celebrated my birthday and her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks. It was Friday. So I said, I'm having ice cream. So I did, because I didn't stop, because on the way home, we stopped at one of the rest stops. And my husband goes, do you want anything? You want like ice cream? I go, yeah, I want more ice cream. So I got a Klondike bar. It was good. We don't have any in the house now, though. But I put on 2 pounds and I've only taken one of them off.
Well, it takes a couple days to regulate it, right? And drink extra water and get back to your normal foods. That's the other thing I hear a lot of people talking about, like detoxing after, or your body will detox itself as you just get good foods back in. Like your body will handle itself. it will let the water go. It will normalize itself. If you have inconsistent bowel movements because of your nutrition over the weekend, you just get back to the normal way of eating and it will come back. Like everything works itself out. It just takes a few days.
I notice I'm on another plateau. Remember, I was on this plateau trying to get under that 5-pound mark for like years. So I finally broke it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I figured, okay, now I'm good to go. Nope. I'm on another plateau now, trying to break the next 5. It just
Yeah.
won't budge.
Well, technically a plateau is 4 weeks. So you might not be there yet. And you have, you had a weekend where, you could stall progress. So now think of it as you're almost kind of starting again a little bit, right? Because
Yeah.
because whatever happened this weekend, things were kind of inconsistent. And then so then you'll get back to being consistent, and that will definitely help drive things along too.
Yeah.
And now because you're back on 21-day, the portion fix plan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And are you on A probably? Plan
Yes.
A?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be a great time to really focus on the top of the food list.
Okay.
So that top 10 on the food list, the top third is considered the best things for,
Okay.
especially for weight loss, but also for nutritional value.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. And how does everybody else handle? Lily, how are you going to handle your beverages this weekend?
Well, so this is a spiked peach rosé, and it has 85 calories, 0 sugars, 0 carbs. I think it's gluten free, which I don't really care about, but it's 85 calories instead of like 250 calories, which is what I would normally have, which is pineapple juice and rum and
Yep.
coconut milk in there, whatever. So by the time you add all those calories up, it's like 250 calories. So
what's
I'll have
in
this,
that?
and then
What's in that?
it is filtered water, alcohol from cane sugar. So says it doesn't have sugar, but it says cane sugar, alcohol from it, natural flavors, acetic acid, and carbon dioxide. That's
Really?
it.
That's right.
So I have a couple of different flavors of these, and I just like to have something. I'm not drinking to get a buzz or anything like that. I just like to have something, and we'll go to the beach here and we'll take a couple drinks with us down to the beach. And so this is an easy way to stay on track for me, as well as, we're in our RV, so we can bring our own food, which is nice. So
Where do
I
you
can
get
stay on
that?
track that way as well.
Where do you get that? In a liquor store or in a supermarket?
Actually, no, I actually found this at Costco, but normally they are at Trader Joe's.
And what
So,
is it called?
It's called San Juan Seltzer.
So you could like
So
just
it might
about,
be low.
yeah, I was just gonna say just about every company's putting out a seltzer right now, and they're all about the same calories.
Yeah,
And
they're
same
between
consistency.
75 and 100. Like I have a rosé, which is sparkling rosé, which is just like sparkling water and rosé. That's it. And it's I think 69 calories for a can. So there's a ton of different options right now that you can choose from for the seltzers. And again, I just like having the taste of it and having something, and I don't need to feel like I'm gonna get sloshed or whatever. I just like having something.
So it's a seltzer? It's a
Yeah,
seltzer?
it's a seltzer.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
And so
Yeah.
you could even just do a seltzer water that you like if you already have one you like, and then throw, a shot of vodka, a shot of rum, a shot of whatever liquor you want into it too. And that's going to be about the same calories.
Hmm.
Because like a shot of vodka,
Yeah.
60-ish, 65 calories, something like that.
I think it depends on the vodka. Like if you get the
Okay.
flavored stuff, that's
Well, yeah,
more
Gonna have
calories.
straight vodka. I mean, because
So,
you can get
yeah,
flavored
don't-
seltzer water.
Don't go get the pineapple flavored vodka or the mango flavored, because that's just adding sugar.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, yeah, you definitely have to look for that, the flavored stuff, how they're flavoring it, and if they're using sugar, or like the mixers, right? Like if you're getting a margarita mixer, those have a lot of calories generally.
Oh,
And but I prefer the margarita with just the, orange liqueur, lime, and tequila. And then you don't
yeah, just
get
straight
this-
like that is totally, totally fine. You can make a great margarita without adding all the crap from the mix if you don't use the mix.
Yeah. And I
So-
think Autumn has a few margarita recipes, I want to say, or maybe at least one. And she's definitely got cocktail recipes in BOD. So you can do, what you want to call skinny cocktails. But they're basically just using natural things to flavor, just a little bit of juice or something like that to flavor things so that, or actual fruit. And so you get that flavor, but you don't get all the calories and the sugar.
And you also have to, I'm making a conscious choice, and I'm deciding to have alcohol this weekend, and I'm deciding to have ice cream with my kids, and I'm making that mental choice. And when I make that mental choice, I know that when I get on the scale on Tuesday, when we get home, it's going to be up, but that's okay, because I know I'm making that conscious choice, that I'm okay with it. And I know that I can take it off as soon as I want to, just by getting back on plan.
Yep.
So-
that's
Just keep
exactly it.
dancing. Just keep dancing.
I will, don't you worry.
Yeah, and it's all about
Okay.
like you can allot it. Like if Lily didn't want to gain weight too, she could allot for her alcohol this weekend within her portion plan. The ice cream maybe not so much, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can also keep it to a point where if you don't have a weight gain, and that's okay too. It's really all about feeling in control and not feeling like you've had an out of control weekend. And it's going into it knowing, hey, I'm going to have a few treats this weekend. And then when I'm done, I'm going to get, back to my regular planning. And you're kind of prepping yourself for those types of things so that you don't feel out of control and that the out of control doesn't continue. Because that's where we get, things get a little loose, right? It's like you have this weekend and you're having all this fun and you're eating whatever. And then you get back on Monday or Tuesday and you're like, oh, I don't really want to eat broccoli today. And you're like, I think I'll have the ice cream instead. And then it just kind of keeps going. But you also are going to find you don't feel as good. You don't have the same energy. I was noticing that today, like there's been way too many potato chips in the house. And like, it's funny because I have this habit of while my shake is blending, I'll just have a few chips while I'm sitting there waiting. And so I'm like, okay, we got to cut that out because I'm starting to feel it. Like I'm not feeling like I'm having all the good stuff and I'm having the same energy level from the nutrients I should be getting instead of having chips.
That's how I am with my goldfish. I
There
like to
you
take,
go.
if I hadn't eaten anything before I take pre-workout in the middle of the day, I'll throw back like a handful of goldfish with my pre-workout, which is not like the greatest. It's fine. It fuels me through the workout, but there are better choices of things I could eat instead of handfuls of cheddar goldfish.
Yeah, but
Right.
they're so good.
They are so good,
Yeah.
Kathy. You are right. They're so delicious. But I don't keep them in the house now because I have too much of a penchant for them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, one way that I'm doing no bread is, so I found these also at Costco, and they're cauliflower.
I just
sandwich
saw
tins.
these. Yes. How are
Yes.
they?
I haven't tried them. They're still sealed. I
Oh.
bought them last night. And, but yeah, so they're, I'm excited to try them. The first ingredient is cauliflower, and then eggs and Parmesan cheese and salt and yeast. So, and 2 of them is 100 calories, which, let's see, 5 grams of fat and 3 carbs, 1 fiber, 1 sugar, and 6 grams of protein. No, I'm sorry, 9 grams of protein.
That sounds almost like a red
Yeah.
and a blue there.
Yeah. So yes, I might have my alcohol, but I might account that for a yellow instead and not have a hamburger bun. I'll have this instead, or lettuce or something like that. So that's how I account for it and make not how I don't eat like, 7 yellows, but it's just choices for me at least.
It totally is. And I think
Mhm.
too, the more you've done this and the more you're like, when you're hungry, when you're eating out of, not hungry and eating, and you can kind of feel things. So like when you're on a weekend like this, you may not keep your same meal pattern, but you may still get the same calories in during the day because you're kind of going off how your body feels and if you're actually hungry versus just eating because it's dinner time or because there's food there. So there's a lot of ways to manage it for sure, to where your outcome, you still are feeling the same or similar. You may have some water retention. I mean, actually, I actually tend to lose weight when I go on vacation because I'm a little more active, it seems like. So it really just depends on what's going on and what's happening. Vacation doesn't have to equal, weight gain. So you can think about your days like that. It can still be enjoyed and all the things you want to do, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a weight gain.
Lily, did you take your scale with you when you were away 2 months?
I do have a scale with me, but I actually didn't get on it. I took my weight when I started Let's Get Up once, and I go off how I feel. I'm not trying to lose weight,
Okay.
and I can tell when I'm pudgy or feeling pudgy.
Okay.
You guys probably can't tell, but I can tell just the way my workout clothes are fitting, and
Yeah.
so I don't go off the scale because I used to be one of those people that wanted to be a certain weight, and it was, I wanted to be the same weight as I was at high school or even skinnier than that. And I wanted to be a size 2, which that's not as important to me anymore. What's important is that I am fit and that I'm healthy and that I have muscles, and instead of being skinny and size 2 and flabby.
Okay.
So that's why when I was following 2B Mindset, I used it every single day. And it's a great tool to use it that way, as long as you don't let it get to you. But what I found was when I got on it every day, I would say, oh my gosh, I'm down 2 pounds. I deserve a treat. Let's have a treat. So I would go have a treat, and then I would be like instantly right back up. And so I found that it wasn't working well for me to use it that way. And I had to change my mindset. So
I'm 100% guilty of that too.
But yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so good. I must, I can eat, a couple extra handfuls of nuts, or I can have the whole avocado instead of a fourth of an avocado, or whatever it is that you enjoy eating.
Well, Lily, did you have to lose any weight when you started?
Yes, so I was super active when I was younger, and up until about 24, I was super active, and I walked. I was a manager at a restaurant and a server, and so I walked miles and miles a day just serving, and we would bike ride, and we were active. And then I got a desk job, and I sat at a desk all day, and I ate everything my husband ate, the same portion size. We would finish off a whole pizza, and I gained about 20 to 25 pounds. And then I decided to get healthy, and what I did was actually fix my portion sizes, which always works for me. And so I started eating more vegetables, not finishing everything on my plate, because that was what was a big thing when I was younger. My mom always said, that you got to finish everything on your plate, which is a horrible habit, unfortunately, to develop. Even to this day, I have to push my plate away and say, nope, it's okay if I didn't finish my plate, because you overeat really easily. And so I had to lose about 25 pounds. So, and I gained, with both of my kids, I gained a lot of weight. So I had to lose about 50 pounds with my son, which was my first pregnancy, and I had to lose about 42 pounds with my daughter. And so, but I'm way I'm much more fitter than I was even back then. Like I muscular, I'm not flabby, even though I might have been a certain weight, before or after I had kids. I got down to a certain weight, but I wasn't healthy. I wasn't eating a healthy diet. I didn't have any muscles. I wasn't taking care of myself. I didn't have a workout plan that worked for me because I had to take the kids to the gym, and that didn't work because it wasted 3 hours of my day basically. And I didn't know what to do when I got to the gym. So I just did the same stuff over and over again. I didn't know how to eat a healthy diet, look at labels, and because I wasn't taught that growing up. I mean, I don't think anybody's really taught that very much.
No, no.
I had no idea that ketchup had sugar in it. Like, come
Right?
on, why put sugar in ketchup? Like,
canned
that's stupid.
tomatoes have sugar in them, like added to them in many brands.
I
I'm like,
know.
why do you need to do that? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a lot to learn.
I think
So,
we all do, right? I mean,
but
like,
yeah,
it's it's one of those things where we've all been conditioned with some of the marketing too. And you think, oh, this has whole grains in it, or this has what's the other word? Well, they'll give fiber counts, which is okay, but they talk about there's like whole grains, and then there's some other word now I can't remember it. But anyway, you know what I mean? But you absolutely have to turn that package over to see, okay, what's really making this up. You can't go by the stuff on the front because they can be like, well, each serving has this. Well, that serving might be 3 times what you would normally eat, and so then it's not enough fiber or whatever. But yeah, we all kind of have to decondition ourselves out of what we thought. And and I think a lot of people and this is actually, great for next week, because it's like you have these expectations that what you're supposed to do. And I lost weight prior to Beachbody, and I knew how I did that, but I wasn't eating in this kind of macro plan or eating in a way that gave me more energy. And so even if you think like what's right or what you're supposed to do or that you're supposed to eat healthy, I think when you actually start using these plans and get into it and feel the difference of what it means to do this kind of a macro plan and actually have vegetables and fruits every day, have more whole foods in your diet, it's a different feeling. So and what
it is, and you have a lot more energy too. I mean,
a
like
lot more energy.
It's just such a crazy difference. How much more energy you have, how much better you feel about yourself. I know we're not talking about workouts, but just switching my workouts in the morning and getting them done every day, it just makes me feel so much better. And when I do get on the scale and I'm feeling healthy and I'm feeling fit and the number is, same as it has been, because I'm not trying to lose weight, I'm okay with that, because I know that I'm healthy and I feel like I'm healthy and I know that I look healthy.
Exactly.
And yeah. So the energy part is a big thing now, for sure. Especially
Huge.
like Joy was talking about, you eat a big thing of pasta, or you eat, a bag of potato chips or whatever. And then it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm exhausted and tired, and it's, because my day or whatever. And it's like, yeah, actually that's not what it's making you tired. So
Yeah, no, it's a carb coma.
Yeah, right.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
It totally is.
So.
Yeah, it was funny today. I had ordered a pair of shorts, and I usually am somewhere around an 8 or a 10, depends on the brand. And I put these shorts on and they were a 10. And I am jumping and trying to get these things up. And I haven't weighed myself in probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. And I thought, well, I don't think I've gained any weight. I'm like, what is going on here? Right. So I get off and then I start second guessing myself. And I'm like, well, everything else feels normal. And I actually got on the scale because I'm like, am I that different? Nope, still the same. These darn shorts are just small. And that's frustrating too, because it's like you think you're
Very
a certain
frustrating.
size and
There's no standard in sizing.
there's no,
There's
and
no
when they cut
standard
them,
in
they cut
sizing.
like 12 at a time, right? So some of them are a size 6 and some of them are a size 12 by the time they're done cutting. It's crazy.
I mean, I have 8s, 10s, 12s, 14s, and they will fit. I mean, it can't be.
And I honestly, I have kind of started just being okay with whatever number they are, as long as they look good. Like I had to
look
really
good,
talk to
yeah.
myself about getting over the number and just going with a piece of clothing that looks good, because no one sees the number when I have it on.
No, but it's all up here,
Okay.
all up
You-
here.
You got it. Yeah, you got to get over that. That's,
Yep.
I mean, that was a big thing, even for like workout leggings.
Yeah.
I was ordering a pair of Zaya leggings, and somebody's like, "Oh, size up. You want to size up? These are small." And so I was like, "Well, I don't really want to order a size medium. Like, I don't." But, and I was like, "Wait, what am I thinking? Like, what do I care what size it is, as long as they're, comfy and they fit and they don't fall down? Like, who cares?"
Right.
Like, but it's
But
another
it's
mindset
true.
thing.
I mean, there's been clothes I just put back because I'm like, oh, my size doesn't fit. Like, so rather than go up to the next size to see how they look, I'll just put them back and be like, oh, nope, those don't work. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, but
Yeah, it's a total mind game, and it's something that it's being okay with where you are, and knowing that you are healthy and fit, and that the size on your tag on the inside of your pants doesn't matter. It's how you're feeling. And
exactly.
you shouldn't let that number on the pants determine how you're feeling. It's how you're, how are you eating? How are your workouts? How's your day? You
Yeah.
have your more energy, all that stuff.
But it does feel good when you can get into a smaller size. I have dresses that are size 2 that I can put on. So, I mean, that does feel good when you can. I'm not really a size 2, but it's a size 2. It says it's a size 2, so I'm gonna roll with it. I'm like a 4'6", so I mean, yeah. So it's kind of that's one of the ones that you want to show, like, ooh, I got into a size 2.
I wear the
That's-
size on the outside.
So
You gotta wear
that's-
the dress on inside out.
Right.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. When you can get into a smaller size, you're like, yeah, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
I'm working, less. But it doesn't. But unfortunately, it goes the other way too. When you're like,
Yeah.
oh my
Just
gosh,
don't
I
go
have
out
to
and
get a
celebrate
bigger size.
ice cream when you get into the small size.
Well, nothing else is gonna fit. I mean, it just fits just right, so you can't eat that night. But yeah, because then you really go back to your true size. But no, I've had a couple of instances, and then kind of also too talking about sizes just for the heck of it. Well, pre-COVID, when you can actually, I don't know, maybe you can now these days, go shop and try clothes on. I don't know if people can try clothes on in the dressing rooms yet or not, but
Some places.
I would purposely, just to see if I could fit into a smaller size. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. So it's just you kind of trick yourself too, like, ooh, maybe it looks like my size, but it doesn't say it's my size, and you go try it on and it might fit, it might not. But that's all in your mind too. You're playing games with yourself.
Yeah,
So-
you are. And that clothing.
You know what?
That-
She's gone.
She's gone. Yeah.
I'm back.
She's back now.
Stupid internet.
There she is.
I was just gonna say, the tricky thing with this clothing manufacturer is they are different sizes, right? Like you've seen pictures where they show the same size, but they're all different widths. And so basing how you feel you're doing on a clothing size could be a little bit misleading, depending on the manufacturer you've chosen that day to put clothing on with, right? And I know like my more expensive jeans are all smaller sizes than my cheaper jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And dress
they
barn used
totally
to be
play off
wear
of
a
this
small
stuff.
size.
It's
They
crazy.
do. I'm like, thank you, Ralph Lauren. You know what I want to buy. you know?
Yeah. And it's crazy. You're just playing off women's emotions to like be in the smaller size. And
Yeah.
yeah. So All right, let's get back to our Memorial Day type things. I was going to say with alcohol too, if if you want to have a few beverages, one of the rules Alana uses is to have water in between. So one beverage, then a water, one beverage, then a water. You can kind of string out your time with your beverages. Plus you'll feel better the next day because you'll be hydrated, which is good. And then like if you're at a potluck or something, I know Lily kind of mentioned about pushing the plate away. And another method kind of like that is having a smaller plate. So not taking, you have a smaller plate that you can fill up, looks full, looks like something you're going to enjoy. And maybe you get bites of the things that are more caloric or you want to try, so you can try more things. And then you still feel like you're getting, the things you want. And you are portioning so that you're not getting too much of things and not feeling in a slump. That's the worst thing I think now with overeating is I just feel so blah and like zero energy and don't wanna do
Tired.
anything. And especially if you're on vacation, that's no fun. You want to be a part of what's happening and do stuff. And what other tricks do you guys use when you're maybe out at a gathering?
I stay away from the food table, like on purpose,
If you're talking to someone, you go somewhere else.
Right. Before we all used to gather at at the table where all the food was, where you were grazing throughout the day. And now I try to move away from the food.
That's a good plan, right? Because if you're there, you'll just kind of keep, you'll grab something and pick at it. But if you're far away from it, then, you have to leave the conversation or excuse yourself or something to go to it.
Also
My daughter
keeping yourself
normally,
busy.
yeah, my daughter normally prepares me like a little plate of veggies,
Oh, good.
cucumbers, jicama. So that's what I'll be picking on instead of eating anything else.
Yeah. And if you're just going there, not going super hungry, that's another good
Yeah.
one, because if you go in super hungry, it's all over. It's like going to the grocery store hungry. I come back with the weirdest things when I go to the grocery store hungry. It's like everything just starts flying in my cart. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, I like to always bring a veggie tray to so that I always have something that I can eat that is healthy to whatever party. So everybody knows I bring the veggie tray to whatever barbecue thing or birthday party or whatever. I always bring that. So it's helpful.
I always try to eat like an hour or so before we go, so that way when I get there, I'm not that hungry. Plus, you don't all like, I think I told you like a few years ago, I cut out high fructose corn syrup. And I mean, that stuff lives in like all sorts of things. You would never imagine it to be used in foods. It's really bizarre. But so I never really know if they have stuff there that I can necessarily eat. And so I always try to either make sure I'm bringing snacks like Lily does, or I will eat before I go. So that way I'm not that hungry. And then by the time I do get hungry, it's usually time to go anyways. So
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, because that was a trigger for you for migraines, right?
it was, yeah. And I mean, it's in everything. Like,
Everything.
I mean, white bread, it's ketchup, like just stuff that you would never even imagine why they would need it. They put it there, and it's really fascinating and terrifying too, because of what it does to your body. It's so bad for you.
Yeah. Good. All right. Does anybody have anything else they do if they're at a gathering or a way to kind of keep it on track?
I don't remember if you said this, but you might have said it just in different words, but I definitely, well, both of you guys said it. I mean, I definitely try to keep my regular, if I'm going out for for dinner cookout, I'd still eat breakfast and lunch basically the same, so that I'm not like, I don't try, if I find that if I try to save up all my containers or whatever for the end of the day, it's a disaster. I just overeat.
Yeah, that's it. So it's like you already have had your fueled meals and you're feeling good, and then you go and you just have what's remaining and kind of around that. Yeah, I think that's great too. And then the next morning, get back
And I
up.
don't know.
Always try to have that regular breakfast again that next day.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone said this, but I always try to make sure I work out when I have those events. Like even if it's a rest day, I will work out just because it makes me feel better. And then I also know that going into it, I'm making good choices to begin with. And so I either, want to deviate or I want to kind of stick to where I am. But either way, like I've already, done something healthy for my body, regardless of what I ingest, nachos, whatever, it's fine.
Goldfish.
And I think it keeps you on that you're not just blowing it kind of day, right? Like you're like,
Right.
I'm still on track for things.
Yeah.
This isn't just a free for all and kind of an effort type day.
I try not to have 2 free-for-all meals like in a row.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a free-for-all at dinner, I'm going to make sure that the meal that I've eaten before has been like on target with my goals.
I was going to say that too, Marianne, is I always, if I know I'm going to go out and have dinner or birthday dinner or go to a party or whatever, I'm always on track all the rest of the day. And you just plan for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's funny how you feel more in control when you're like, this sounds dumb, but like you're more controlled, right? Like it doesn't feel like a burden to be in control or
Mhm.
to control what's happening. It feels
Mhm.
more free
Yeah.
because you have a plan and you know what to do and you know how to get back on and you know how to be during the day. And so it's not feeling controlled, you're in control and feeling actually more free with how things are going.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we get into a spiral of just like you're kind of in this blah state and then you're like, I don't even know what to do, nothing's working, and you feel out of control and like you can't affect things. But the more you dial it in, the freer you feel about how things are, how you feel and how things are going. Yet in control.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more thing I love to do when I am out, it works most of the time. I'll say sometimes I give into this, but I tell myself I can have this anytime I want. I am a person that like, if there's something I'm really enjoying, then I would continue eating it past full, right? Because you're like, this is amazing. I can't stop eating this because it's amazing and I don't want to let this go. And I'm having this experience. And then I'd be miserable for the rest of the night because I'm so overfull and so in a coma. But what I really started doing to talk myself down from that was just to be like, I can have this anytime I want. Or if I take this home, I can enjoy it for some lunch tomorrow. I'll pair it with something else, veggies, protein, whatever, right? Because most than likely it's a carb. And, it's one of those things where it's like, I can have this again. I can, this isn't my last time, so that I don't feel so protective of this food that's in front of me and like, I've got to have it. And I also have to do that with my leftovers because my husband would eat a leftover and we'd literally get in a fight over it. I'd be like, you did not just eat that thing I've been thinking about all day. That was mine. And I'd be so like grabbing onto this, emotion around the food. And I really had to just be like, I can have it anytime I
Whatever.
want. It doesn't, you know what I mean? This isn't have control over me. I have control over it and I can have it whenever I want. If I want something from a restaurant, I'll go get it. There's a chocolate cake down at our grocery store right here that is my favorite. And I know I can get it anytime I want. So I don't actually have it. I usually have it twice a year, Mother's Day and my birthday. And in between, if I want it, I'll get it, right? But I know I can get it anytime I want. So I don't feel the need to have it all the time.
That's interesting.
So I don't know if anybody else is like that. I get really protective. I used to get really protective of my food. And I do have a t-shirt still that says I don't share food because I don't share food very well.
I love that mindset though, that you can have it anytime you want. That's, I think, a complete shift. And that's really helpful. Like when we think about things that like, if you go to a cookout, right? Like you're like, oh my gosh, it's burger time. But like, really, like we can make a burger anytime, like
yeah,
it's not a commodity. Like you can, it's just food. It's not a commodity. We're fortunate enough to live in a country where we're able to have access to those things when we want them.
Exactly. And that can be true like with anything, right? Like a restaurant, something that's your favorite, whatever it is. It was one of those things where I had to like talk myself off the ledge in those a lot. Well, good. Do you guys have
There we go.
any
I was
labels?
gonna say another,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
another thing you can do is you can order a to-go container when your food arrives, because if you live in America, you know that most portion sizes on your plate are 2 or 3 or 4 sizes. And so if you get your food and ask the server right then for a to-go container, you can usually put, half of it in there or more, just so you won't overeat. Because I know if it's in front of me, I'm just gonna sit there and pick at
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
and keep eating it. So that's one thing that I've also done as well is just get your food and then say, I want a to-go container right now, please. And then waiters usually look at you funny. Just say, just go get it, please.
And sometimes they'll even split that for you. I know places, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can say, I'm taking half this home. So if you could just split it back there, that'd be great. And they'll just,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sometimes they
Some
will
places
do that.
are really amazing about it and will do it.
That's a good idea.
Or you
Out
could
of
say I'm
sight, out of
sharing with
mind.
someone at home. You could make up a story. You can have a invisible best friend that's going to eat it later, and just say Beth's having this later tonight. So if you could split that up for me, that'd be great. And then just tip them. Tip well.
That's
Well,
an
good. Do you
idea.
guys have any labels you want to go through? We have a little time today.
I have a question on a flour corn mix.
Okay.
Instead of eating like the regular tortillas that come in like in a package, I bought the one that you make them. But how do I count it? I mean, how many can I have? Just 2?
Well, they're corn or they're flour? Because
They're corn.
I think, well, flour is for sure a 6-inch tortilla. And let me look and see if there's a designator on the size of corn. I feel like there was 2 small corn tortillas.
I
but
think it's
say-
2.
Yeah, it
I
might
think
say
it's
like
2
2
six-
But
4-inch.
even though you're making them,
What'd you say, Maribel?
even though you're making them,
Yeah, it's still going
because
to
I'm
be
making
the
them
same.
from scratch.
Yeah, it'll still be the same because your masa is going to have the most carbohydrates. So, you know what I mean? There might, and you probably put a
Freezing.
little bit of
It
oil in it.
froze.
Oh,
You got to move to another room again.
dang it. Somebody tell me when I'm back unfrozen.
We didn't hear that. You got to do it again.
Oh, am I unfrozen yet?
No, I don't put any oil, just put water.
Okay.
You're
It
frozen.
froze.
Dang it.
We didn't catch anything you said.
We
Deanna.
got carbohydrates out of that. That's all
Something,
we
that's
got.
it.
Oh, okay. Okay, somebody tell me when I'm back up. Maybe if I turn my video off. Okay.
You're on.
Let's
You're
Yeah.
on.
try this. Am I on? I'll leave my video off.
Yes.
Maybe it'll help. Okay, I'm gonna look in the food list here, but I'm pretty sure it's just like 2 4-inch corn tortilla, even if you're
2
making it yourself.
6-inch, I think.
Oh, 2 6-inch for corn?
Yeah, because
I think
Let's
so.
see here. Let's
I was looking at the nutrition information and it was like 1/4 of a cup. And I'm like, how in the world am I going to know what's 1/4 of a cup out of the tortilla mix?
yeah, so it is 2 small 6-inch
Okay.
corn tortillas. So so if you're making them, then you're
I'm
still
just adding water.
yeah, even though you're still adding water, because the masa is going to have the same carbohydrate mix. You just might be missing a little bit of oil from the manufactured type, but you're still going to be really close in calories, I would think.
Okay.
And take out your ruler and measure them, Maribel.
Right?
I know, right? I'll make him small, make him big. It's like, hey.
Or make 12-inch ones and eat two.
Yeah, can you do like, since 2 6-inch equals 12 inches, can you do 3 4-inch? Then you can have street tacos.
I don't know. There you go.
Just do a little math there. I don't know.
Or make one 12-inch.
You
this
could
way
put
you
some
can wrap something
cauliflower in
in.
it.
Yeah.
It's
you
hard to
could.
wrap
put some
something in a 6-inch
Cauliflower
one.
and make it so you can make it bigger,
True.
get more out of it.
'Cause
Uh-huh.
It's hard to wrap something in a 6-inch one.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be hard to make it wrap. It's more of a taco.
Yeah, right.
Does anybody else have any food labels?
Well, we could call it and start our holiday weekend early then tonight. So next week we'll talk about expectations and then getting like what to focus on to get started, or to how to focus on that one thing that's going to make the most improvement. So we also should have time for food labels if you want to bring some then. And we can hear how the weekend went so that you had your indulgent meals, but then we're right back on track.
Yeah, and it's the start of a new month too.
Yes. Yeah, and tomorrow's Neon Day for Funky Friday.
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
forget your bright colors.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Lily's got her sneakers.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I forgot all about that. Funky Friday.
find your bright stuff, Joy. All right, you guys. Well, then we'll see you later. Let's take a
Thank
picture.
you.
Ready? Let me see if I
Take a
can get
I'll
a.
just say, wait, take a picture.
Take a
Hopefully-
picture, everybody smile.
Okay. Geez. You all look
Say,
beautiful.
Portion fix.
Beautiful. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. I'll put the recording in there. And Kim had also had a link to some cocktails from the Beachbody blog. So I'll put that with the recording too. So you can have some cocktails this weekend.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.